Good afternoon and welcome to September's Team Brief. I hosted today's Team Brief with Heather Caudle and we had a lot of people, which was fantastic because we did Team Brief slightly differently today. We spent time reflecting on when it's really pressurised in the organisation, the importance of compassionate leadership. So we chose the topic of compassionate leadership for a number of reasons, and recently we've had some both anecdotal feedback but also feedback through the staff friends and family test survey. So we have had more feedback during the survey that we did in August when we know the hospital was really busy, where people's perception was that that at the top of the organisation we didn't understand the impact that was having on our frontline staff. So we felt it was really important that we reflected on that, and we reflected on what are the behaviours as leaders that we need to show that do demonstrate that we both understand and empathise with people when we're under pressure. At the beginning of the session, we watched two very powerful videos, both which helped us to understand a little bit more about what compassionate leadership means and about, if we are compassionate, the impact that has on both our colleagues but also ultimately on the patient care that we give. One of the videos that we watched, and the links will be available for you to watch, is a clip from a presentation from Michael West, who is the Professor of Thought Leadership at the King's Fund. And he talks very well about the impact that compassionate leadership has on the patient and identifies four key themes. The first is around paying attention and listening to others with intent. I think that's really, really powerful a conversation about how do you make sure that you are listening properly and that you're thinking about the things that people are telling you. And there is evidence to show that the more senior we get, the less we listen to our staff, which actually, given that we're so far away, removed from the shop floor, it's quite clear that we need to think about how we do that better. The second is then having a shared understanding about what's going on, and some of the feedback that we'd have from staff is that they don't always feel like we have got that shared understanding about the pressures. The third point he made was around empathising, feeling how it is to be in people's situation. And the final thing is then about taking some action, so to help them to resolve some of the issues that they're dealing with. We then talked about the fact that if we are going to demonstrate compassionate leadership, we can't do that if we're not visible. So what is it that we need to do in the organisation that makes people feel that we are listening and that we are paying attention and understanding and that we are taking action? So I asked Team Brief to think about some of those definitions and the impact that they have on how we are at work, and to take some questions to the tables and discuss how it actually feels in reality. And Heather's going to feed back some of the themes that came out of those discussions.
It's all very well listening to somebody, a staff member, and empathising with them, but if you don't act on their concerns, they're going to lose faith in what you've done. I think the other point that came across strongly with us was the need for all levels of the organisation to listen to each other and empathise. I think we felt, as some of us as fairly senior leaders, that often we lost touch with what people lower down in the hierarchy were thinking. And one of the possible solutions to that was the assembly idea that has been pioneered in our emergency department by Asim Naeem, where a group of staff in an area, clinical area, get together. And there are no boundaries here, there are no hierarchies, so everybody has an equal right to talk about their concerns and their fears in the way that care was being handled.
If I were to sum up the discussions into three major themes, I think the first one is about the fact that this is so important, and this played to the strengths of our quality improvement programme, with an example being given about the assemblies that are being held in A&E. The second theme is about the fact that should we embark on this, we will actually improve the quality of care we give patients. When we are treated compassionately, we treat others compassionately, and therefore this directly affects our core business of looking after vulnerable and unwell people in our community. And finally, everyone in the room felt that ward leaders or clinical team leaders needed to be part of this conversation. And even if they weren't in the room, they were very much in our thoughts and our questions about, will they feel the same way? Are we treating our ward leaders, our team leaders compassionately? And do we need to find a place for them to think about compassionate leadership? We will definitely keep in touch about the work that we're doing in this area. But the key message today is compassionate leadership starts with every one of us. Team leaders, administrators, senior managers, middle managers. We all have our part to play in ensuring that we deliver compassionate leadership. The PMO is prepared to help roll out the assemblies across the organisation. They are already in 3 or more teams, and so if you are interested in this proven way of delivering compassionate leadership, please contact the PMO to get assistance in setting it up in your area.